Welcome back to The Explainer. So today we are looking at something that is literally going to change the game for finance professionals. Because let's be honest, nobody actually enjoys manual data entry, right? With the release of Dynamics 365 Business Central version 26.3, Microsoft just dropped a brand new public preview feature, the Payables agent. I want you to think of this not just as, another software update, but as your very own digital assistant for accounts payable. We're going to unpack exactly what this AI agent does, how it crushes those tedious tasks to save you time and reduce errors, and how you can seamlessly integrate it into your daily operations.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our agenda for today. First, we will meet the Payables agent, then we'll cover setup and validation, move into processing vendor invoices, talk about the human review process, and finally, wrap up by understanding future costs. Simple enough? Let's go.
Section 1. Meet the Payables agent. Automating accounts payable. So right now, the Payables agent is in public preview, meaning it's currently available specifically for US and UK localizations, though other regions are definitely on the way. But at its core, this thing is an absolute powerhouse for sourcing invoices. It actively monitors your incoming channels, specifically looking for vendor invoice attachments that come in via email or get dropped into SharePoint. It grabs those documents, looks at your company's available purchase history and accounting policies, and automatically drafts purchase invoices right inside Business Central. Basically, it's intercepting the paperwork way before it ever hits a physical desk.
Moving on to Section 2, Setup and Validation, onboarding your digital assistant. Knowing what it does is awesome, but how do we actually bring this digital assistant to life? Well, you can't just flip a magic switch. You kind of have to onboard it almost exactly like you would a new human employee. Let's transition right into the focused, step-by-step setup process that gets your Payables agent ready for the real world.
The onboarding tutorial really boils down to 3 absolutely crucial steps. Step 1, you activate the agent inside your Business Central environment. Step 2, and listen, this is a mandatory requirement, you have to configure a shared email account for the agent to monitor. It needs a dedicated inbox where vendor invoices are routed so it knows exactly where to look. You definitely do not want to get confused by your personal emails. And finally, step 3, define your autofill settings. What's super cool to understand here is that the agent doesn't just blindly read the current invoice. It actually uses your past invoice data to suggest details for new documents. You can actually tweak which additional invoice fields get autofilled, really tailoring the AI's logic to your specific business habits.
Now, before you just let this agent loose on live vendor data, you really need to validate its configuration. During activation, the system actually gives you a way to test the agent using sample invoices, and you have 2 distinct ways to do this. You can choose System Sent, which is where Business Central automatically fires a sample invoice over to your newly configured shared inbox just to wake up the agent. Or, if you want to test the entire pipeline yourself, you can use the manually sent method. With this one, you just download a sample invoice to your computer and email it to the shared inbox from your own account. Both of these methods just make absolutely sure your routing, document attachment processing, and agent triggers are flawless before production deployment.
All right, Section 3, processing vendor invoices, the agent in action. So with the setup and validation totally complete, our agent is officially on the clock. What actually happens when a real, live vendor invoice hits that newly configured shared inbox?
And this brilliantly illustrates the life cycle of an incoming document. Let's walk through it. Literally, in second 1, an email with an attached vendor PDF hits the shared inbox. Almost instantly, the agent reacts, and a notification alert pops up directly for the user in Business Central. By minute 2, the user clicks the alert and can preview the attached PDF file right there in the browser, seamlessly accepting it. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the AI is already processing that document attachment, reading the lines, and drafting the purchase invoice. Within 5 minutes, the heavy lifting of data entry is completely finished, ready for your final sign-off. It totally transforms a tedious manual chore into a lightning-fast automated alert sequence.
Section 4. The human review process. You are in control. Look, if you are a finance professional watching this explainer, you might be feeling, well, maybe just a little nervous about an AI automatically creating your financial documents. I completely get it. But rest assured, while the AI does all the heavy lifting of document processing and drafting, you still have the ultimate final say. The whole system is literally designed to keep you firmly in the driver's seat. Which brings us to this absolutely crucial concept in modern software, the human in the loop. See, the Payables agent is not fully autonomous to the point of posting financial records blindly. It operates on a workflow where the AI intentionally hits the brakes and explicitly asks for your interaction. It drafts the work, sure, but it cannot and will not finalize the task without a human reviewing it for accuracy and giving that final approval. Think of it like a super efficient assistant preparing the paperwork on your desk, rather than a manager making decisions without you.
So, what does this human review phase actually look like in practice? Well, it's a highly streamlined set of actions. When the agent finishes processing, you simply click Review right on the alert. That pops open the proposed purchase invoice draft. From there, you just inspect the document lines that the AI populated and compare them directly against the PDF details. If the AI missed a nuanced detail or if you need to manually add specific accounting codes, you can just fix or add those right there on the spot. Once everything looks perfect, you hit Confirm. And only then does the agent finalize the creation of the purchase invoice. You always remain that vital quality control check at the end of the line.
Now, this whole process sounds incredibly efficient, and the best part is, right now during the public preview phase, utilizing this agent is completely free. But as administrators and business leaders, we always have to look ahead. What actually happens to our budgets when this feature moves out of preview and into general availability? Let's transition into the practical reality of future agent capability costs.
Section 5. Understanding future costs. Billing models. So the crucial point is that AI processing requires some massive computing power, and Microsoft is obviously going to implement a billing structure for this feature once the preview officially ends. To effectively manage your future software budgets, you really need to understand the billing models that are going to be on the table.
You're essentially going to have two distinct paths for billing here: message packs or pay-as-you-go. Message packs act a lot like a bulk subscription. You buy a set number of AI messages, like say a pack of 25,000, for a fixed predictable price. On the flip side, the pay-as-you-go model charges you purely based on the actual number of messages you consume by the end of each month, which honestly is great for businesses with fluctuating invoice volumes. Now, it is really important to note that total message consumption depends heavily on the complexity of the agent's actions and responses. Processing a simple one-line invoice is going to consume way fewer resources than parsing a highly complex, multi-page vendor bill. You will definitely need to evaluate your average invoice complexity to choose the most cost-effective plan.
To wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with this fantastic summary quote from Stefano Demigliani. He says, "The agent is able to source vendor invoice attachments and to create purchase invoice documents in Dynamics 365 Business Central for review." I love that because it perfectly encapsulates the dual nature of this feature. You get this powerful AI sourcing perfectly paired with mandatory human review. As this technology inevitably transitions from public preview to a daily operational standard, here is the final thought I want to leave you with. How will you utilize this human-AI collaboration to not just speed up your data entry, but to fundamentally modernize and elevate your entire financial workflow? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time.